Ladies and gentlemen, hope you are doing well wherever you are. Welcome to our news. And actually, we have received bad news on our news desk, and you'll be shocked. As you all know, President William Ruto is currently out of the country, having traveled to France to attend this year's G7 summit. Meanwhile, his government has been dragged to court by the Consumer Federation of Kenya, COFEC, over the 2026 national budget. Before I continue, as you continue watching this clip, honorable viewer, wherever you are, please, I request you, I beseech you, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, I kindly ask you to subscribe, please, and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever we upload new content. Thank you for your support, and may God bless you abundantly, and welcome. The news we have received on our news desk is that President William Ruto's government has been dragged to a court over the 2026-2027 finance bill. Now, the High Court has certified as urgent constitutional petition challenging key provisions of Kenya's Finance Bill 2026, ladies and gentlemen, but has declined. The court has declined to immediately suspend the contested measures. The decision, means that Parliament's legislative process can continue for now, even as the court prepares to examine whether several proposed tax and regulatory changes comply with the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, in directions issued on June 16th, Justice David Mburu ordered that the petition be served on all respondents, including the National Treasury and the Kenya Revenue Authority (KRA), and directed them to file responses within 7 days. That is what we have received now. The matter is scheduled for mention on June 25th this month, that is probably next week, while the court acknowledged that, or rather the urgency of the issue raised, it is stopped short of granting conservatory orders that would have temporarily blocked the disputed provisions from moving forward. So that is the news we have. The case was filed by the Consumer Federation of Kenya, we call it COFEC, one of the country's most active consumer rights organizations, through its Secretary General Stephen Mtoro. The lobby group argues that several provisions in the Finance Bill 2026 raise serious constitutional questions touching on consumer protection, privacy rights, fair taxation, and public participation. But according to court documents, COFEC fears that the bill could become law before the judiciary has an opportunity to determine whether the contested provisions meet constitutional standards. But Ruto is in France. That is bad news to him. At the center of the dispute are proposals affecting digital payment systems, changes to value-added tax, we call it VAT, exemptions, and expanded enforcement powers for the Kenya Revenue Authority. COFEC argues that these measures could increase financial burdens on households and business, while also creating concerns about data privacy and regulatory oversight. The organization has previously presented submissions to Parliament warning that some provisions could conflict with constitutional protections relating to privacy, administrative fairness, and public participation. So COFEC submissions to the National Assembly May this year. The legal challenge comes at a politically sensitive moment. Finance bill in Kenya has become increasingly controversial in recent years as the government seeks additional revenue to fund public services, manage rising debt obligations, and support economic growth. The Finance Bill 2026 introduces several tax reforms intended to broaden the, tax base and improve revenue collection. Proposed measures include changes affecting digital transactions, capital markets, virtual assets, excise duties, and VAT treatment for selected goods and services, and among other things. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I want to say that Kenya's constitution requires that legislation undergo meaningful public participation before becoming law. Courts have repeatedly emphasized that tax measures must not only raise revenue but also comply with constitutional principles such as transparency, fairness, and accountability. Legal analysts note that recent constitutional challenges to government policies have demonstrated the judiciary's willingness to scrutinize legislation where citizens allege violation of fundamental rights. The court, or rather the High Court, High Court's refusal, to issue immediate conservatory orders does not mean the petition lacks merit. No. Rather, it indicates that the court wants to hear arguments from all parties to balance the both parties before deciding whether any provision should be suspended. Similar constitutional cases in Kenya have often proceeded through detailed hearings before judges determine whether legislation should be halted, amended, or upheld. The case also highlights, ladies and gentlemen, the growing role of public interest litigation in Kenya. Organizations such as COFEC, which has moved to a court, have increasingly turned to the court to challenge government policies affecting consumers, taxation, social security, contributions, and data protection. Recent ruling have reinforced the principle that matters touching on broad public interests deserve judicial scrutiny, even when they involve complex economic policies. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Finance Bill 2026 advances through Parliament, the court battle is likely to attract close attention from taxpayers, businesses,